What's good, what's good, what's good, party people? It is summer time. So why on earth am I doing a video about teaching? I don't know. But this video is for my teachers always. This is going to be financial tips that teachers really could benefit from, especially during the summertime. I know not all states and not all districts and whatever pay during the summer. NYC does. We do work on a 12-month salary, which means that the salary that we would get for 10 months, they just break it up so we get paychecks in the summer, which I am thankful for because I don't know what I would do. The summer is when I spend like the most money. But let's get into the advice for this video. I think I've got 10 tips, but y'all know I get like mixed up with counting and filming. This is why I teach English. I'm not good with numbers. I'm not. So let's go. The first tip or the first piece of advice I have for my teachers is going to directly relate back to teachers who do not get paid in the summer. Now, what you can do, or what I suggest doing during the 10 months where you are getting paid in the fall, winter, and spring, the school year, you can take money out to create a bit of a sinking fund, essentially. Take money out of the check and put it in a credit union, right? Or you can put it in a high yielding savings. So during those 10 months, you are going to have less money at your disposal, but you won't be in a mad scramble during the 2 months in the summer where you are not getting an active paycheck. Now, the reason I suggest a credit union or a high yielding savings is so that your money is working for you instead of just kind of sitting like under your bed or under your mattress, right? So make your money work for you. The second tip that you are going to want to follow if you are a teacher is to know your salary schedule. Now, how it works in NYC, I don't really know how it works in many other places because I've never worked in anywhere besides New York. How it works is it goes left and right and it goes up and down. So from top to bottom is based off the amount of years that you have been teaching, so that is your longevity. From left to right is going to be how much school or education you have. Now, the best thing that you can do as a teacher, especially when you're starting out, or even if you're far into the game, you want to get as far over to the right corner as possible. Why? Because that's where you're going to make the most money and it's going to capitalize over time as you build the longevity from top to bottom. So if you're thinking about moving to school districts or moving in states, that's something you want to keep in mind. Because just because they might start out paying you really well or might give you more than a certain district, what does their salary step schedule look like? Because working 5 years in this district, will that make you more money than working 5 years in this district that gave you more money up front, but their salary steps didn't move? All right, the third thing that I want to give to you today, especially for my elementary middle school teachers, I don't know if this really goes so much for high school teachers very much. I don't know, it doesn't for me. When decorating your classroom, I know it's really important. Same thing with like giving your students gifts when they first get into the school year. I know it's important. However, I like to get bang for my buck and I like to use things year after year after year. And I find that if I do themes or year specific things like decorating the classroom, it really goes down to wasting money for me because I'm going to rip down that theme at the end of the school year and put up a new one next year, right? So I would rather use my Teacher's Choice money for things that are more fundamentally helpful throughout the entirety of the school year and can be carried on into many, many, many school years. So buying like a thematic borders just isn't the wisest thing to do with your money. Okay, the next tip that I want to give to you for saving the most amount of money as a teacher is to capitalize on DonorsChoose. I became a DonorsChoose maven, a queen even, especially when I was working in the Title I school in Brooklyn a couple years back, because that school really couldn't afford much and our heart and our intentions were in the right place, but our wallets weren't. So I would go to DonorsChoose to get books. I would go to DonorsChoose to have students go on college visits. We were able to fully fund a trip to Philadelphia to visit 3 different schools in Philadelphia. So that was phenomenal, and that was through DonorsChoose. All you have to do is really write a pitch for your project, what you need the money for. They like if it's very detailed. They like if the kids write back, if you have really good pictures. It's really a wonderful program. And I've done maybe 10 to 12 different projects and I've only gotten maybe 2 of them that didn't get fully funded. So DonorsChoose is definitely the wave. If you haven't signed up for it, if you haven't been using it, I suggest you do, so you can help fund different things in your classroom that your pocket or your school district might not be able to help you do. The next money tip that I have for you as an educator, as a lovely teacher, is you have to cut corners where you can. Now, I work in a school that is in a very, very, very urban area, so that means there's a Starbucks, there's a Dunkin' Donuts, there's a Panera Bread, there's an Applebee's. There's so many food options within 2-minute walking distance that it's very easy for me to fall into the pitfall of buying lunch every day. Towards the end of the school year, I was going to Starbucks a lot because I don't know why, and I would always be astonished at the total. Even though I knew exactly what the total was going to be, I would always be astonished that, wow, I just paid $6 or $7 for breakfast, and if I were doing this for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or at least breakfast and lunch, I'd be spending about $15 a day, 5 days a week. So I pack my own lunch, and I pretty much never go out to eat during the school year. It doesn't happen, right? Bring my own breakfast, I bring my own lunch. Besides that, bring your own coffee. I don't drink coffee. I know it's a thing for many people, and God bless y'all, y'all need it, and that's what's up. Bring your own coffee, because Starbucks coffee is expensive. Dunkin' Donuts coffee might not be as expensive, but those dollars add up. And remember, we're teaching for 180 days out of the year. You could be saving that $3 or $4 and putting it somewhere else, right? And that leads me to my next tip. Create an emergency fund. Because I don't know anyone more than teachers that has emergencies. I don't know, right? You need an emergency fund. If you haven't signed up for the Millennial in Debt Money Saving Challenge, you can sign up. The link is down below, so you can save $1,000 in 8 weeks. Simple, so easy. And you also want to create a sinking fund. Now, the reason why I am so for sinking funds is because they have saved me time and time again, saved my wallet, saved my sanity, helped me prepare for things financially that I knew were coming, so that when unexpected things would happen, I wouldn't freak out because I knew these things were already covered. You want to create a sinking fund. If you know you like to shop, create a sinking fund for shopping. If you know eating out is something you desire, create a sinking fund for eating out. Buying gifts. When Christmas time rolls around, you're going to want to have some money set aside and not have to rely solely on your credit card. So teachers, I highly suggest emergency fund and sinking fund to help make your teaching days a little easier. The next thing for my educators, and you knew it was coming, retirement. NYC has 2 forms of retirement. One that's kind of required, your pension, and then another is your choice that you can add in. I use a TDA, that's my optional one, and my TRS is my pension, where I have to put in 5%, I believe, of my salary for 10 years to be vested. If your school or your district does not have that particular type of setup, you want to open up some type of IRA, check with your bank, but you need a retirement fund, because you don't want to be 70 years old and eating cat food because you weren't prepared, right? You want to maintain your lifestyle. And the last thing, which I kind of referenced earlier, spend your money, your teacher's choice. We get about $250 every school year. Spend your teacher's choice on evergreen items. And that's why I focus so heavily on this school year. I bought lap boards, right, which I can use over and over again. I bought these little mini beach balls to do share outs when we're having class discussions, and those can be used over and over again until they pop, essentially. I bought holders for books and things like that, which I can use every single year, and I don't have to worry what my theme is of my classroom because they're evergreen items and they're going to work no matter what. So instead of and I bought some things too, like markers and staples and things like that I need. Focus on, okay, how long will this item last me, because I'm spending X amount of dollars on it and I need to get it, I need to make sure I get my bang for my buck. So those are the financial tips and advice that I have for my educators going into their next school year, many months away from right now when this video is being filmed and edited. So have a great summer. Have a great school year for 2019-2020 or whenever you watch this video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.